Now all the world knows that America, Europe, and their aides and their followers, with all the pressure they have exerted, they have not been able to overcome the Islamic Republic and push it back. This actually was caused by the enemies of Iran. The Iranian people came to be known, their skills, their progresses. Elsewhere also they did the same thing. They raised ballyhoo. They said they made this cry that we want to boycott gasoline. We're importers. We're an importer of gasoline. We still are. They said that we want to stop this. And they made such a ballyhoo and raised some cries and had this campaign. Their analysts predicted and said that there will be unrest and tension in Iran. People will do this and that. And this caused Iranian officials to think of further producing gasoline. And today, based on the report that I have, of course, until the next few days, the country will be totally independent from imports of gasoline. Based on a report given to me, even after that we can export gasoline, and we have the order of exporting gasoline. Well, this campaign of theirs proved beneficial to the Iranian people, and world observers saw this. It's been true like this in all areas, and the sanctions of arms during the war, it was like this, and creating this parallel extremist Islamic movement, it was the same story. In our neighborhood, they came and they created this extremist Islamic movement in our neighborhood in order to harm the Islamic revolution, and now it's actually a bane of their existence now. They don't know how to cure that problem, how to remove that problem, and bring about faith-based sectarian and division was the same story. In the post-election events, they said that the Islamic Republic is gone, it's the end of it, and differences are out there, and this and that happened. But finally they saw that the people of Iran overcame all this. February 11th last year, and also another day, 1 month before it, they were among, we call them days of God, to the true sense of the word. The people's hearts, God took them out to the streets, and the people of Iran showed its dignity and magnanimity. Whatever they do, it proves detrimental, and this will be the same in the future too. These are the facts on the ground. This is what you see in the world. Well, what they wanted and see what happened, what they achieved. Now, the second part of that I should mention is that in any phenomenon, if we want to actually talk about the importance of this phenomenon and the success of its progress, we should look and see how far this phenomenon has been able to set an example, to serve as an example and as a model, and how far it has been steadfast and resisted and has stood firm. It's the same about revolutions. If a revolution wants to be influential and to impact the minds and deeds of others and serve as an example, then it needs to have certain characteristics, the most important one of which is this very resistant steadfastness. If this is there, then the revolution will set an example for others. Or else, if there is only some sparks elsewhere and then they get turned off, they cannot set as an example. They cannot be that effective, and they cannot actually push others to follow them. Now, this is how our Islamic revolution has been. Our revolution has been able to inspire hope, to set an example. And this is because of stability resistance and steadfastness and insisting on the major principles of the Islamic Republic that the late Imam said. We resisted, we withstood all the pressure. I should also cite a few examples in the same connection. One is this, the nature of Islamic. Our late Imam, first of all, said that our revolution is based on Islam. In the whole world, there was lots of campaign and propaganda. They said that being Islamic and being democratic, they do not match. They said that this is retardedness, this is moving backward, this is retrogress. Islamic teachings cannot be implemented, and all those that they mentioned. And some other people echoed their voices inside the country. They wrote articles, they wrote books, they spread rumors to the effect that the Islamic in order to actually make the Islamic Republic of Iran retreat from its principles, but the Islamic Republic of Iran resisted and withstood all those. So yes, we are Islamic, and we are proud of that, and we prove that the way of salvation for mankind is the very same thing. So with a loud voice, this is what we have announced to the whole world. Today, after 32 years, look at our society. The manners, the approaches since the very first day, if they are not more Islamic, at least they look the same as what they were in the early days of the Islamic Revolution. Our youths, the young people who never visited the Imam, they don't remember anything about the revolution days and the imposed war, but their abidance by the Islamic principles, they're sticking more strongly to those than some of our older people. The officials are proud of this Islamic nature. In the past 32 years, of course, lots of efforts were made. Even inside the government apparatus, there were individuals who tried to actually, in a zigzag manner, try to push the nation to corners and go astray, but this didn't happen. This is one example. Another instance is the issue of the rule of people. Since the outset, the late Imam Khamenei announced that it's the people who need to have their say, be it in choosing the Islamic Republic or in devising the constitution or the law, in the assembly of experts and the picking of the MPs and the president in all areas. After 32 years after the Islamic victory of the Islamic Revolution, we have had 33 elections together with referendums. In 32 years, we have had 32 or 33 times people have gone to the polling stations and they have picked, you can say, one election every year. This is really important. It's people's selection power. During the war, Tehran was being bombed and rocketed. The elections were held in cities where they were being targeted by missiles and rockets of Saddam's regime in that war. The elections did not stop. They were held even in those days. One of the parliamentary elections, pressure was made so that for their own political reasons, they could kind of delay the holding of the election, but they did not succeed. Up until now, the elections in the Islamic Republic has never been delayed for one single day. This is democracy. The very first day, the Imam said, and the Islamic Revolution insisted on this principle. We never accepted to do away and dispense with democracy and the rule of people. Today, the officials Also the experts, the assembly of experts who appoint the leader, and also the parliament, the assemblies elsewhere, the councils, they're all picked by the people. Various currents also came to power. We can't say there was only one group of people. There were various kinds of political biases and inclinations in the past few presidents that have come to office. You can see everyone has his own inclination, but they were all picked by the people. Another instance is an instance of social justice. Since the very beginning, Imam Khamenei spoke of justice. Well, social justice is tougher than all of these. To maintain democracy and other activities that have taken place inside the Islamic establishment. The establishment of social justice is really tough, really difficult. I cannot say that until now we have been able to fully establish social justice. No, that's not true. We still are far away from that. That justice that Islam expects of us and what exists in our society, it's too far still. But moving toward social justice has not been checked, and this is continued. And day after day, it has intensified. And today, movement towards social justice has gained momentum compared to previous years and periods. One of the greatest instances of social justice is the distribution, the proportionate distribution of the opportunities available in the country. In governments that are negligent of this social justice, they rely and they emphasize on certain class of people or certain areas of the country. But within the Islamic Republic, whatever, the further we move, we feel this more strongly. Villages are being taken care of. Far remote cities and towns, small towns, are being taken care of and reached out to. You can see lots of housing and construction of housing units and roads in remote areas in villages, linking roads and various kinds of communication, power lines, water, drainage system, telephone communication, other facilities are all distributed throughout the country. The visits that government officials make to different provinces and cities and towns, some of these remote towns, they never imagined to see even a second-class minor official. Now they see that senior officials reach out to them and go and visit them. This is really significant. It's highly valuable when you go there for yourself and see and feel this problems on the ground. Then you have this incentive and encouragement to try to remove these problems. And this is the very same thing. Social justice. We're moving toward that. Look at the life of the officials. What you see in the world, they have this aristocratic and luxurious lives when they come to office as president or as other senior officials elsewhere in the world. You see, there is a great upheaval in their life when they come to power. In our country, that's not the case. People like me, we need to actually adjust our lives based on the weakest strata of our society. We have not been able to do this, but the lives of our officials in Iran are like middle class, average, sometimes even below the average or middle class. This is really important and valuable. If you look at this, what's government doing in distributing justice bonds and the targeting of subsidies and distribution, equal distribution, if this can be put into practice the right way, this is really valuable. These subsidies that the government was paying for power, well, a family that's using a chandelier in their homes and they consume more electricity, you can see a great difference between that person and the family that uses 1 or 2 lamps. Well, the richer one used the subsidies more. This was not fair. This is going to be stopped. When it comes to bread, to gasoline, and other things, it's the same story. We withstood